Welcome to Football Uncensored. We are back again with the World Cup series with episode 2, Group B. Canada, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. Right before we get into it, by the end of this episode, pick one of these four as your second team for the tournament because every single one of them gives you a reason to get behind them. A co-host nation that has never won a World Cup game in their entire history are about to change that in front of 45,000 of their own people. A country that qualified by knocking out four-time world champions Italy, a team with one of the most interesting redemption stories in the dugout, and the most quietly dangerous team in this entire draw. Let's go. Canada. Canada is a hockey nation. That is the identity the country has carried for a century. But here's something interesting. Football is now the most popular sport among Canadian youth, not hockey, football. The shift happened gradually, driven by immigration, driven by cost, driven by a generation of kids who grew up watching the Premier League and La Liga and decided they want to be part of that world. And that generation produced a golden crop of players. Alphonso Davies became the first Canadian to win the Champions League as a starter at Bayern Munich. Jonathan David spent 5 seasons as one of the most lethal strikers in Europe at Lille before earning a move to Juventus. Tahon Buchanan scored a hat-trick on his Villarreal debut. These are not players at mid-table clubs making up the numbers. These are players competing at the highest level of club football week in and week out. And now they are hosting the World Cup in front of their own people. Here is the only context you need on Canada at previous World Cups. 6 games played, 0 wins, 1 goal. And that 1 goal scored by Alphonso Davies in the second minute against Croatia in 2022. That goal came in a game that they went on to lose 4-1. The scorelines have never told the full story. In the same 2022 tournament against Belgium, ranked second in the world, Canada created 22 shots and lost 1-0. They were the better team. They just did not win. Now tactically, let's look at how Jesse March sets them up. Canada plays a 4-4-2 system built around intense pressing from the front, a compact defensive shape, and fast vertical transitions. The two forwards press together to funnel opponents wide. The midfield traps and wins the ball, and then it is direct and quick into Jonathan David. With Davis on the left providing the pace and Buchanan on the right providing the creativity, this is a team that can hurt you before they even settle into the game. The home crowd, the pressing system, David in form. June 12 Toronto, Canada's story changes here. Bosnia and Herzegovina made history in Zenica, beat Italy on penalties to qualify for this World Cup. After the final penalty went in, Sarajevo saw nearly 100,000 supporters pour into the streets in celebrations. Convoys of cars draped with flags turned Zenica into a giant stage. One fan comment shared widely afterwards read, "This is not just a victory, it is a reminder of who we are." When Bosnia qualified for their first ever World Cup in 2013, 50,000 people crowded the streets of Sarajevo and lit flares in celebration. The television announcer completely lost it when the winning goal went in, and some of the fans who watched their 2014 qualifying goal with their families said it was the first time they had seen their parents cry. That is what this national team means to that country. Football is not just sport in Bosnia, it is identity, it's unity. Sarajevo is a place of many identities, but football collapsed all of them into one. And now the squad. Tactically, here is how Barbarez sets them up. Bosnia plays a physical direct 4-4-2. Defend in a compact block, limit space centrally and release quick into the forwards on transition. Amar Dekic at right back is a constant attacking outlet from Benfica. Bajkatrovic, 21 years old at PSV, provides creativity on the right. And Demirovic alongside Dzeko up front creates a partnership where one does all the pressing and running so the other can do the finishing. Bosnia conceded just once across 240 minutes of playing football against Wales and Italy combined. That defensive organization combined with the pace they have on the break makes them a team that will frustrate and threaten in equal measure. Here is a question. Which nation has won the Asian Cup back-to-back? Qatar, 2019 and 2023. 2-time reigning Asian champions. That is not a small achievement. That is a football program that has been consistently producing results on the continental stage. And now for the first time in their history, they have qualified for a World Cup on sporting merit, earning their place through competitive qualifying rather than automatic host entries. That matters. Every point was fought for on a football pitch. Their coach is Julian Lopetegui, and here is the only thing you need to know about him. He was fired by Spain 2 days before the 2018 World Cup, a tournament he had spent years preparing for, because his federation found out 5 minutes before a press release that he had already accepted the Real Madrid job. Fired 2 days before the World Cup, 8 years ago. And after Qatar qualified, he looked into a camera and said, "It seems like life owed me a World Cup, and fortunately, today I got it." Lopetegui's system is 4-2-3-1, built around compact defensive blocks, quick transitions, and getting the ball into Akram Afif in the half spaces where he is most dangerous. Afif had 14 goals and 12 assists in 21 league games this season. On a good day, he's genuinely a problem for any defense. And Almoez Ali finished as the top scorer in all of Asian qualifying with 12 goals. Two-time Asian champions qualified on merit, a coach with unfinished business. Qatar are not here just to make up the numbers. Switzerland. Let me make the case and I will keep it simple. 13 World Cup appearances, 6 consecutive qualifications, always there, never flashy, almost always dangerous. Here is an interesting fact about Switzerland. At the 2006 World Cup, they became the first team in history to be eliminated from a tournament without conceding a single goal. Clean sheet through the group stage, clean sheets in the round of 16, went out on penalties after a 0-0 draw with Ukraine. They then became the first team in World Cup history to fail or score a single penalty in the shootout. Did not concede, scored 0 penalties, went home. That is Switzerland. And then 4 years later, they beat Spain 1-0 in the group stage, the Spain that won the whole tournament. Switzerland play a 4-3-3, possession-based, building through a midfield three, with Xhaka sitting deep as the controller, Freuler and Saw box-to-box, and wide forwards Ndoye and Vargas providing the pace out wide. Ndoye offers explosive dribbling and the ability to run in behind. Vargas cuts inside on the right foot from the left. Mbolo is the physical focal point in the middle, and at the back Akanji and Elvedi are two of the more composed centre-backs at this tournament. Switzerland went unbeaten through qualifying, conceding just 2 goals in 6 games. So here are my predictions for this group. Switzerland tops this group, experience, organization, and a system that simply does not crack. Canada second, the home crowd, the pressing system, and David in form is a combination that wins games. The first ever World Cup win is coming. Bosnia third, and in the expanded 48 team format where 8 third place teams advance, third might be enough. They beat Wales and Italy on penalties to get here. Their bottle is not the question. Qatar will be more competitive than anyone expects. 2-time Asian champions qualified on merit and a coach who has waited 8 years for this moment. Comment below who you think will qualify from Group B. And if you are enjoying this series, don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next one. Reagan signing off.